What's up, guys? It's Steve Cardenas, aka Rocky the Red Power Ranger, and you are watching SmarkTank Revolution.
And welcome back to the SmarkTank Revolution, where we always kick out at 2. I am your host, flying solo on this portion, or at least my portion of this topic here. I am the supernatural soul man of substance, America's little brother. Ladies and gentlemen, it is I, Mr. Donnie, wonderful, the excellence of elocution. Oh, man, I love introducing myself. Not to sound narcissistic, but, we like having fun with it. Thanks to all our new subscribers. We are growing rapidly, and I'm loving the engagements. Please comment your opinions, your thoughts, your detractions. Like the video or dislike it, you have a right. All of this is fresh off the cuff, freestyle. We try to go into these things and these topics uncut, unedited, just raw, like Monday night, as Vince McMahon would say. But hey guys, thank you for tuning in and supporting us. This is an interesting video here. Joey and I have been messaging each other this week, the lead up to WrestleMania. WrestleMania is this weekend, and he sent me a message and asked to record our favorite WrestleManias, our 10 favorite WrestleManias, as I know that he's currently binging most of them. Because you can't binge them all. I'm sorry. It's a homework assignment to do them all. But, you're going to jump around. Especially, it's 38 of them right now. There's no way in the world you're going to binge them all. It's not going to happen. I mean, Godspeed to whoever does. But, I know for a fact I couldn't do it. I would at least need to do it a month. I would need a month to prepare. But nevertheless, we go on tangents here. Thank you to my colleague, Mr. Joey Business. I had to think about this one, and my top 10 favorite WrestleManias. As I was thinking of them, and we don't have anything. Well, at least I know I don't have anything prepared or written down, so I'm really gonna try to go off the cuff, and that makes re-listening to these interesting, at least for me, because my raw thoughts are being recorded now, and then when I play it back and hear myself, I'm like, wait, I missed this, I missed that. Like, how did I do this? Especially with the essentials. Oh God, especially with that. If you guys haven't heard any of those videos in our playlist called The Essentials, please do. But we're gonna stick to the topic here. WrestleMania, my top 10 WrestleManias, my favorite. I can tell you guys now that most of my favorite WrestleManias tie in to some type of nostalgia. And what I can say now, today, the fact that I think that WrestleMania now has become a bit overbooked, because there's always going to be one night that's superior to the other. And if it's supposed to be one collective, that night that's subpar is really going to perish. You can have a great match night one, but night two, outshines you. And I think lately it's been the other way around. After night one, I'm ready to go home. I'm ready for Raw after night one. And night two comes along, and it's like, you're going to have the main event there, the world title match, the one that matters. But other than that, if that doesn't deliver, if that doesn't seal the deal, everybody's talking about night one. The synergy, I think you can only capture it for really one night. Everything after that is overkill, but that's just my opinion. I'm just saying. We'll see this weekend if I still feel the same way. But as an adult, I haven't really been, and that's really honestly because of us being smarks. I think what I would have to do is I would literally just have to watch Raw, SmackDown, and pay no attention to social media or any of the dirt sheets. No Wrestling Observer, no Jim Cornette, no nothing, no Conrad, no Bruce. Well, Bruce Pritchard talks about old stuff, but yeah, man, let's get into this. Let's get into this. I think I've delayed this enough, and it's been a long-winded intro. So, top 10 favorite WrestleManias. Number 10. I'm gonna go with the WrestleMania that began it all for me. That it was my first WrestleMania as a child, knowing and being aware of the build-ups to it. So it always has a very special place in my heart, and that's WrestleMania 8 at the Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis, Indiana. And I may have been about 7 years old, may have been, if not younger, but one of the attractions of WrestleMania 8 was it was billed as Hulk Hogan's last match against Sid Justice, and I really, really, really loved the build, what they did at the Royal Rumble with Sid, with the heel turn, him refusing to tag in to Hogan. So, we really wanted some closure on that on my end. And on top of that, Randy Savage and Ric Flair with Liz. That picture, by the way, Mr. Perfect and Ric Flair was supposed to debut a very enticing photo at WrestleMania 8 that we never seen. So, damn it, man. Y'all left that gate wide open. But yeah, just not so much for the matches. Obviously, Piper and Brett for the IC belt was good. Man, I mean, it's just the excitement to see what was going to happen when Ultimate Warrior came back in 1992. WrestleMania 8, man, he looked different. I mean, everything you guys would hear about it in documentaries where people were asking, like, wait a minute, did the original Ultimate Warrior die? Is this a new one? All that was true. And I remember that vividly, and I remember it fondly. And us not beginning, because it didn't begin with me, but us perpetuating that rumor because we were so enthralled in the wild world of wrestling. WrestleMania 8 at number 10. At number 9, and these may actually shock you. Number 9, number 9, I'm going to go with WrestleMania 4 at Trump Plaza in New Jersey. And the reason why I'm doing that is because in the VHS days where we traded tapes, I don't remember how old I was. I may have been, I'll take a guess, maybe about 11 or 12. For my birthday, I had a VCR, and it was my first VCR I had in my room. So I was watching everything I can get a hold of, and most of it was wrestling tapes. And the one that everyone seemed to have was WrestleMania 4. So I can remember watching that, and remembering some of those old names that I would hear. Like, I never saw the Junkyard Dog. I was too young for that. I was too young for that era, but I remembered the names. And that battle royal, that opening battle royal, a lot of those Ken Patera, like my dad loved Ken Patera. I've never seen Ken Patera ever wrestle, actively, but you heard the names, and now, like, that was where I began putting the faces to those names that I would hear. So I remember that fondly, and I used to watch it a lot. Not that there was anything that stood out, but it was just WrestleMania 4 and the World Wrestling Federation title tournament, the Winged Eagle belt, the debut of it, man, I just, I used to love watching that one. That was always, if you had WrestleMania 4, I was always willing to trade with you. And at number 8, WrestleMania 5 was another one. WrestleMania 4 and 5, I probably traded tapes with more than anyone, and it's just fond nostalgia for 10, 9, and 8. But again, there was nothing really except for the implosion of the Mega Powers at WrestleMania 5. But one thing that I used to, and my cousin Gerald, we used to do this a lot. So there was no YouTube. If you wanted to hear your favorite wrestlers' themes or any wrestling theme that you loved, you had to rewind the tape. And I loved Cutting and Strutting, Brutus the Barber Beefcake. So if you had WrestleMania 5, I was willing to loan you whatever I had just so I can go to that point in the video and watch Brutus Beefcake come down to the ring because I liked his music. So like that's really like my nostalgia list. I think from here now we start to get into WrestleManias that I thoroughly enjoyed. So I'm at 7. At number 7, and here's where it gets kind of... okay, I know what I can put. I'll put, biasly, I'm going to put WrestleMania 14 at number 7. That WrestleMania I've been rewatching more than any other ones because I was there live, and every time I watch it back now, something sparks my memory. Oh yeah, that did happen. So it takes me back to a live experience, and one thing I won't forget is being there to see Shawn Michaels lose because of what he did to Bret in Montreal. That's the biased one. So 7. I'm gonna WrestleMania 14 because I was there. So at 6, WrestleMania 19. I'm gonna put at 6, and here's where I guess now that the internet's around and the smarks have emerged. Like everyone's smart to the business, and kayfabe's really gone. So now, like these were the years where you can say suspension of belief or disbelief or whatever it is, whatever the cliche is. That was at an all-time high. But out of that, I mean, Brock versus Kurt Angle, good Lord, that was a match. Chris Jericho versus HBK, WrestleMania 19. That was in Seattle. I remember that. That's gonna be my number 6. Number 5, and like now we're kind of reaching here, but I'm gonna go with WrestleMania 20 at my number 5, and I enjoyed the Rock and Sock connection against Randy Orton and I can't even think. I know it's number 5. It's one of my favorite ones because of that moment, because of those moments. Seeing Mick Foley and Mike Tyson have such similar parallels to me. Mike Tyson was, regarded as the most dangerous man on the planet, and like look at him now. Like just you can see how emotionally vulnerable he is, and how transparent he is with that. I was a fan of Cactus Jack. I knew Cactus Jack, but when you insert Mankind, and that guy was crazy, and I never thought that I'd ever like Mankind. But he won us over. He became a darling, and I know he had the Dude Loves and then the Cactus Jacks in the WWE. But all of that with Sacco, that became Mick Foley, Mankind, whatever the case may be. He went from being a freak to a darling, and I remember watching that match really, 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 really praying for The Rock and Mick to win. And even though they didn't, I still had I had a good feeling about what I saw. And I think it was the tail end of Foley's career is when I really became a diehard Mick Foley fan. On top of that, I love the crippler Chris Benoit, and I know he's on the forbidden list, but seeing Chris Benoit become champion, that was the icing on the cake for the night for me. I enjoyed the Undertaker's return, and what I noticed, and I know there's people that know these things, but there's one of the first times where Taker removes the hat and doesn't roll his eyes. If you watch, and that match only was about like 6 minutes. The entrances were the longest parts of that. But go back to WrestleMania 20 and watch Undertaker's entrance up until he throws the first punch. Oh man, that stare, the way he looks at Kane, he looks right in the depths of that man's soul. And the camera, and oh man, they produced that very well. Taker, Kane's freaking out. I buried you alive. Go back to Taker. Same stoic look. That I thought that was really, really, really shot well. Number 5, WrestleMania 20. All right. Number 4, WrestleMania 18. WrestleMania 18. I absolutely love this one. And I'll say number 4 and 3. Oh no, I might change that. But I might change the order. But WrestleMania 18, I thought was a great follow-up to arguably the best WrestleMania of all time, WrestleMania 17. But I loved seeing Hogan and Rock in Toronto, and I wasn't there, obviously, but I felt like I was there, because we were so happy to see Hulk Hogan back in WWE. So happy. And The Rock was over. But we all got a chance to embrace our inner Hulkamaniac. And we turned him babyface that night. That was fun to watch. Number 4, WrestleMania 18, and it was a good card. It's a good card. I forgot who Christian wrestled. There was something funny about that. But okay. Number 4 off, and this is all freestyle. WrestleMania 18. All right, number 3. This is gonna be a tight one here. Number 3, I'm going with. Oh man, actually, I do want to switch it. All right, another classic match. Even though they did it twice, WrestleMania 28. The fact that we had a year to build up that main event was interesting to me, but I wouldn't rank that higher than WrestleMania 18. So we're gonna switch. Okay, at number 4, WrestleMania 28, simply because Rock and Cena, and they did it again the next year, but the first time they did it was great. Number 3, WrestleMania 18. Number 2, WrestleMania 17. This, top to bottom, arguably the most rewatchable WrestleMania there is. Top to bottom, the matches age well. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. Get your $5 Peacock subscription and watch WrestleMania 17. And even if you weren't a wrestling fan back then, I think the video and promotional packages are enough to catch you up so you can be up to speed and know what's going on and know who is the heel and know where the heat came from. Yeah. Number 2, WrestleMania 17. And number 1. This one is another nostalgic one for me. Similar to my number 10, WrestleMania 8. This is my all-time favorite WrestleMania because it was the first WrestleMania that we ordered on pay-per-view at my house, that my parents did, and my friends came over, and it was an incredible show. Ladies and gentlemen, at the number 1 spot, WrestleMania 10 came on at 4 p.m. So it was a school night. Everybody can come over. And man, I mean, I'm a Bret Hart guy, so what can we say? That WrestleMania was sandwiched by Bret Hart. Bret and Owen, the greatest opener in WrestleMania history. And I'll unbiasedly say, Daniel Bryan and Triple H did a good job. They did a good job, but yeah, man, WrestleMania 10 out of pure nostalgia, this is my favorite one. All my buddies were over. It came on earlier in the afternoon. I remember when it went off. The replay came on at 6, and we were just so out of whack because we weren't used to seeing wrestling come on that early. And what they did for the 10th anniversary is they aired at the same time they did with WrestleMania 1. And they also, at the time, the WWF at the time, they had the red, white, and blue ropes, but they went pure throwback, full throwback with the black, yellow, and black ropes in Madison Square Garden, the world's famous arena. Great matches, in my opinion. I remember being nervous about seeing Brett and Luger, and when he got that was a screwy finish. I think they could have rebooked that, but just because he touched Mr. Perfect, that was kind of screwy. I kind of felt like we got cheated, but I was nervous about that because it was babyface versus babyface, and I did like that American gimmick of Lex Luger. It reminded me of Hulk Hogan. So Vince, if you're hearing this, and I know you wanted to push Lex Luger to the moon and you wanted him to replace Hulk Hogan, well, this 8 or 9-year-old kid believed it, so it worked for me. Unfortunately, I didn't see the Lex Express bus, but it worked for me, and I was nervous about seeing that, especially with Brett on a bum knee. But yeah, Yoko, and even though it was a screwy finish, I was nervous about the main event. I'm like, hey, how is Brett on one knee going to beat Yokozuna? Also the the ladder match was what it was. Yeah, man, WrestleMania 10. I just that's my favorite. So I can't even remember to recap the list. I know number 10. My number 10 was WrestleMania 8. My number 9 was WrestleMania 4. My number 8 was WrestleMania 5, and 7 was WrestleMania 14, and yada 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 yada, all the way up to WrestleMania 10. So, sorry for being so long-winded, but that's what you can expect from me. This was my favorite WrestleManias, my top 10 favorite WrestleManias. on my first run of this. I'm likely going to listen to it and change everything. And what I'll do, if I don't agree with myself, I'll leave it in the comment section, just like I hope you guys do. If you agree, disagree, like it, hate it, please leave it in the comment section. If you felt like I have had some omissions, call me out on it. I will answer and reply back and respond to you all. So, this was my favorite WrestleManias, my top 10 favorite WrestleManias. I'll just call it version 1 right now. But with WrestleMania coming up this weekend, hopefully I'll get to say night 1 and night 2, WrestleMania 39 is my favorite. That's what we're looking for. Thanks, guys. Please like, subscribe, and share the video, and engage with us. Till the next one.